Welcome to our tutorial on how to pleat a Spring Crest drapery. As you will see, we have several items that you will be needing. First off, we have our stainless steel Spring Crest pleater. We have our Spring Crest guide pins. We have some cord or string or anything that you have at the house that is strong. And then I chose, you only need one of these, but you need something like a ruler or something that has a hole in it, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And then you need your drapery. To get started, we're going to take our cord, and on the stainless steel pleater, you will see that this is showing the back, this is showing the front. And you will see that there are holes on each side of the pleat. So to get started, we are going to string it with our cord. And I did tie a little slip knot right in there. And I'll do it like that. So now we have something to pull. This is what we're going to tie to our doorknob. And then on the next side, we're going to do the same exact thing. Stringing it in the hole. Just like this. So now you have an actual spring that is tied to your doorknob. I was lucky enough to have a letter opener that did have a hole at the very end, so this is what I'm going to use. You could use a ruler, although it might be a little bit trickier. So I'm going to string it, and I'm going to actually tie a knot, because I'm going to use as my threading device. I'm going to tie a good strong knot, and then that's when I get my drapery. This is the front of my drapery, and I will be putting the threader into the rod pocket at the very top. You do want to be very careful that you do not take out the thread in the rod pocket as you're doing this. So I'm just going to start threading it in like this. If your drapery is at a point where you are not needing to do this and your pleater is not removed, you are in a very good spot and very lucky. Just kind of work it through. If it gets stuck, just don't use force. And then I'm going to attach it to a chair because that's what I had. Trying to do this as if I was at home and think of things that I could use from home. Obviously in a facility like ours, we don't use this on a daily basis, but for the video, that's what we're doing. So I made a pretty good knot for that. So now, again, this part is the front, and this is the back. So we're going to start threading it through. Obviously, our sample is a much smaller piece than your drapery would be, so probably having two people help would probably be the best idea. As you can see, mine kind of got stuck, so you just kind of have to work it through so you don't tear the drapery or the rod pocket. Alright, now that that's all on there, I'm going to make my tension a little bit tighter, as it's much easier to pin it when it's taut. Alright. So one thing I do want to talk to you about is overlap. And so as you can see, I'm saving a little bit, and that's to hook onto the master carrier. We're going to act like this is a left-hand panel. So you want to pretend or more or less guess that your dot or your pinhole is right there. And so I need about 3.5 inches for your overlap. And then we want to just kind of pull that without making the chair tip. kind of even it out. The more fullness you have, the better. And again, here we're doing the return. Now, this is one note that you want to think of. If you are going on a single return rod, your return needs to be about 3.5 inches from your hole. If you are covering shears and your return is a little bit longer, that's about 6 inches, give or take. That's at least how we make them. So I want to have just about 3.5 inches from my hole. And now we can start going. I did mention that we're going to make this a left-hand panel. So that means that I'm going to take the front of the pleat, the crest of the pleat, and I'm going to go to the left of it for a left-hand side. So, So when you are holding the pins, this is a Spring Crest guide pin, and you want to get the little metal piece and stick it in between your fingers like that. So now we're going to, give or take, find the hole with your 2 fingers, and you want to push it in, and you want to be very careful to not have any threads that are sticking over that little metal piece. You want to have it clean, and then you just simply secure this metal piece around the pin. I'll show you a back view on this next one. Again, putting it in between my fingers, found the hole, finding the hole, pushing it in, my pin is clear, so I'm going to push it, okay, now to the back side. Now I'm going to push it around the back of the pin. Sometimes you get a little bit caught up and forget where your hole is. There it is. Okay, see, that one did not make it in because it is not in the hole. It just came right out of the fabric. So you do not want that. So you back that up and try again. It does need to go in the hole of the stainless steel pleater. So now you can see my whole drapery is pinned. So now I'm going to go ahead and untie my string or my cord from here because I need to use this hole for a pin. Oh. It's a little tricky that I left my threading device on there, but that's okay. Alright, so now my threader or my cord is out of there. So with my hands I'm going to, your pleater should actually have these rubberized end caps, and that helps save your rod pocket and your fabric from the sharp metal that is underneath. If you don't have those, let us know and we can send you some. Remember, you need about a 3.5 from the hole. Mine's a little bit short, but this is okay for the demonstration. And that shows that your drapery is ready to hang. You can stop it. Now the last step before you hang it, you do need to add your drapery hooks. Drapery hooks are like this and can be purchased on our website as well. Gonna put it in to the very end just like that. One there and one here. Okay, so now we're gonna hang it on our drapery rod. You're gonna take the pin and put it parallel to the track. It's a little hard to see on the Master Carrier one. And then you're gonna let it snap forward like that. On the left hand side, it's much easier to do it with your left hand. Parallel, slip in, parallel, slip in. This track is a little bit tricky because there are rods right under it, so it doesn't really sit there good enough. And then you would connect this to your Master Carrier arm, and you would connect this behind that, and connect that either to your Master Carrier arm back there, or your rear arm, I guess I should say, or your little hook eye that's in the wall.